Thank you. Market recap for Thursday the 5th. No, Thursday the 14th of May and Friday, I guess, the 15th of May. I didn't trade this day, so I'm gonna explain Thursday first and just try to have a quick look at Friday. So I explained in Wednesday's video that I'm bullish, right? I expect, let's just get rid of all this, that I expected that price on this day will get no lower than this price level, right? In a perfect world, if we're gonna be bullish and stay bullish, see that's the difference. If we're gonna be bullish and stay bullish, what we're gonna do is here at New York Open, would have came lower right here, fill this, right? So we take this sell side and then start heading higher. And then the next day, Friday or whatever, we'd have no reason to come back lower. But because we didn't take him and made these relative equal lows is exactly why we had this sell off here for Friday and basically Thursday Thursday or Friday Asia session, whatever you want to call it. That's why we had this sell off and turned around. That was the precursor. So what did I think coming into the day, right? So let's put the liquidities back, right? This is where I expected price to come to, right? And then stop, right? They could do something like this and then it would actually stop and go higher. But because we didn't do that, so let's just look at market open. What do we have? We have these two sell side liquidities, right? PM session, initial session. And I'm expecting this to happen. But what do we do? And on top of that, we have buy side liquidity. PM buy side, we have relative equal with initial liquidity, London and Asia, right? So let's just put it this way so it looks cleaner, right? You see this? That's PM high or previous daily high basically on like regular trading hours. That's why it's growing through the lines. Anyway, we have four buy side and these two easy sell side liquidities. So like I said, in a perfect world, right there on 9:30, right here, we would come and take it down, but we didn't. That was the precursor. So my goal was to be bullish, but now because we've done that, I'm 50-50. So I need to see what are we doing, right? We go above this, which I would expect to hold price lower. Like if we wanted to go higher, have a like an early manipulation, then come lower and then go higher again at like 1050, then that's fine. We could have done that. But because we closed above this, and I believe it's a 15-minute SIBI. Yeah, it's the last 15 minutes SIBI, right? That's why I expected to hold us, but it didn't. So now I'm like, okay, I'm 50-50. Let's see what happens. What are we going to do? What's the next thing that could stop us? Because after this, I know that we're going to come take out London High. But we might have the possibility not to take Asia High. That's why I have these quadrants. What are these quadrants? If we look at the 4 hour, this is the last thing that could stop us this wick, right? I'm mainly looking at the midpoint and upper quadrant. I want to see how to respect it. So on the 5 minute, respected, and mainly on the 1 minute, I'm trying to see is there gonna be a rejection there. You can see we wick to the upper quadrant, but we never closed above it. So I'm like, okay, two things. What does that tell me? That's two things. First thing is that it went over the midpoint. That tells me we're not likely to get this today. Okay, that's number one. But this tells me we're likely to have a retracement. What would make sense as a retracement? If we look back into the 15 minutes, right? If we're just looking at structure, once we left this inversion, we haven't really came back into it. So if we're gonna come and offer um discount, it will be this inversion per value gap. It has to be, right? The inversion and this order block basically, the change in state delivery. If it's gonna do that, also supports in the 5 minute and of course in the 1 minute, but that's the whole trade idea. So I'm just waiting for the first change in state delivery. And where does that happen? Right there. We change the state delivery, inversion fair value gap. Bong. Easy trade, entry, right there, exit at the midpoint of the CE. It was literally a 4 minute trade, and I get it, 73 points. I believe I entered at the midpoint because it was nearly 90 points or something. I think I entered earlier in like the 15 second, but that's still the whole concept of the trade. So let's just get rid of this and this and this and this. At this point, it could have done anything, but like the reasons that I explained earlier, especially that we made now relative equal highs, it's illogical to expect it to come all the way down here without cleaning this up, right? So now, if you didn't want to take the short, it would be understandable to take the long, right? This entry would have to be on a 15 second for this, or it's up to you after that. I don't know. I don't see a clean entry on the 1 minute. It would have been on a 15 second somewhere here. So I'll set the low. Targeting these highs. So this day offered both the short, easy, the long, long, I don't know. You could mess it up, right? It wasn't like the easiest. Anyway, then we have our high, then we have our lunch high, which takes this high and then changes the whole market structure. See, this is a model in itself, and it's gonna come back to the easiest low after 10, right? This is too far. These are two easy candidates, so I see right there. Yeah, that's why I went for it. So that's the lunch model. You take this fair value gap, it'll come back into it, and that's what's gonna hold. And this area normally holds not for just this day, and then the next day if we ever come back to it. Well, we don't come back to it, and when it typically does this, the next day is bearish, right? Like it would continue, and we already knew this from the start of the day. Like either the next day, the next whatever, like Asia, London, whatever, because we done this. We already know these were the targets, right? So I'm like now shifting into Friday's price action. So we already done this, and when I seen that we're already taking these lows, right? We didn't hold here. Like what would have liked is something that we're holding till the AM so we can do the big dump. But I seen that we already dumped, taking the liquidities that I was interested about. So at this stage, once I seen this like at night, I already decided, made up my mind that I'm not trading Friday. I just can't be asked. Like it's gonna be inside the range, and I'm just not a fan. I don't need to. Like the week was fine. Like there's no need to just ruin on a loss. So I'm gonna just go quickly into the market open here for Friday's price action. We have this large opening range gap. Okay, and let's just pull the quadrants. You can already see that I would have probably lost on this day. Right. Per my rules, um, per my rules actually. Hmm. Yeah, I can't tell what I would have done here. I really can't because based on some rules, like how we opened and that we didn't bother here, is a typical of just be bearish the whole day, even though we have liquidities higher. So I can see myself shorting this right here. I probably would have got stopped out, and I can see the other option of me taking the long here, and I would have probably got stopped out before we hit this initial liquidity right there. So, um, not good, is it? I would have probably taken a loss or a break even on this day. So that's why know your days that you're gonna trade or not trade, right? Fridays for me are typically nice, but I already knew that since we've reached all the objectives, right? Like think about it this way: a Thursday or like Thursday night, Fridays, London or whatever, right? They reach the objective. Normally, if that's it, right, and the Friday New York, if there's just nothing to do, they will typically do nothing other than just cook you. So why put yourself in that position? Just leave it, right? Like if you wanted to long, they would have cooked you. If you wanted to short, they would have cooked you, right? Because this is an easy relative equal lows, right? And I would have, and I'm telling you, most likely to try to take that short. And look at that. They say, nah, we good. Because yeah, they are good. There's no point to do it this Friday. So that's why now we have triple relative equal lows basically. And that will be our target. And I do expect this high to be, how do I explain it? This high is staying, I think, for a bit. I don't think we're going higher just yet, right? I do expect, because there was no reason for us to come back lower to here, right? So once this does whatever the next day, if we break the CE of this, right, and close below this gap, we going down, right? I would expect us to go down at least somewhere here, right? Maybe even revisit this daily order block. It could be even lower, but this is, in my eyes, definitely a turning point, right? As long as like I said, Monday or whatever, Monday or Tuesday closes below this, right? We need a closure below this, and I can see this as a, especially the fact that we came here, right? This and then reject. Oh, this is probably one of the best. If I'm like short term trading, like this is beautiful. That's what I'm saying. If I'm short term trading, you know what I'm saying? Not short. I don't know how you call it. If like, trades that take more than a week or something. This is probably one of the best short entries because I can see it expanding lower. Don't know where to really. We could, because like I said, remember this whole all-time high. I am just, this is now just theories here. I don't believe any of this. This to me is bullshit. The way we even went up, right? Like all-time high goes up in a certain way. This is not how all-time high goes up. So don't quote me on this, but we could actually dump this whole thing, right? From like May, June, whatever, we could take this low, like basically throughout the whole year. And I'm saying like that would be my target right here. If this is, think about it. If this is like accumulation and all of this is a fast manipulation, we might be distributing this whole year lower, lower, and lower, and lower, and lower, and lower, and lower until we get here. Don't quote me on it, but this is how I'm seeing it. I could be wrong, right? This might not be the turning point, and this might just be a short pull down, and they could just be like, but just have that in your mind and don't try call the high. This is just maybe, right? This is just a maybe. This is what it looks like to me, right? Because this is not normal, and they need to cook the people, right? This, if I'm making the market, is exactly how I do it. To the moon, right? It conveys the same idea from like last year, right? Oh, we're to the moon. This is bullish. Everybody just like, yo, look how fast the stock market is going up, blah 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 blah, and everybody just pouring their money. So how do you cook them? You absolutely destroy their dreams, right? Especially because the way that it went up. This is not how it goes up at all. So yeah, that's why I think. And yeah, that's the market recap anyway. Peace out.